All right. We are live, Dylan, on Big Man, Big Heart. We're going to get started here in about 2-3 minutes. Let some people trickle in, and also let's tweet this out. So let me take a second to grab the YouTube.
Yeah, if you would just shoot that my way.
Gotcha.
This weather is pretty miserable right now.
Is that rain that I hear?
That's rain. We've had rain from probably, I don't know, 3 o'clock till now. Basically all day up here in Tallahassee.
That's funny.
Beautiful morning, but pretty miserable afternoon, evening.
For the first time, I was going to say, it sounds like you got laundry going or you got something in the background. And then, of course, it's the
sound like that. I can't hide this window, you know? I wish I could. I wish I could turn it off.
Well, I'm supposed to grill out tomorrow evening. So my brother had said that it was supposed to rain here all day Saturday. So I'm hoping he's right and we're able to grill out tomorrow because it sounds like it's a little bit closer than he thinks.
Yeah, that'd be nice. What are you guys going to grill out? What do you make? Making brats, making hot dogs, steaks?
I don't know. He probably some sort of fish. He's a chef and likes to cook fish and vegetables and things of that nature. So probably something of that sort. He's been big on these Gulf shrimp that are in season right now, and they're real big. They're almost like, like prawns. They're huge, and we get them real cheap at this place down the street. And so he's been grilling those recently.
Yeah, there's this place in Islamorada that has these giant Gulf shrimp. I'm talking like,
they're like the size of lobsters,
4 or 5 inches maybe, and they're like crazy fresh, right? They catch them inside. I'd imagine somewhere near there. But my grandparents, right, Ken and Linda Maxey, they will literally drive out of their way. So my grandpa, he does express delivery type stuff, and he's always driving around the state of Florida. He loves driving. He puts 1 million miles on his cars. They'll literally drive down to Miami, deliver a package, wherever they're delivering, and then they'll go all the way down to Islamorada just to pick up these shrimp, and they'll buy a couple pounds of them. There's the same, right? They have a sister restaurant in Key West, actually.
It's like one of the first ones, right? So one of the first keys is what I was trying to say. It's one of the first keys, right?
Yeah. It's still pretty far away. It's like an hour from Miami, about an hour and a half. You have to drive through a few more keys before you get to Islamorada, but still, it's one of my favorite spots. There's a Bass Pro Shops there. Actually, it's called Offshore Angler, but still one of my favorite spots to be at. Some great fishing. You got Bud and Mary's Marina right there, and just great charters and services. You have a few nice, really, really nice hotels, some compounds of houses you can stay in an Airbnb, and we spent a good amount of time there as a kid.
Yeah, it's a really cool place. I went down there a couple times when I was in college, actually. Islamorada. That's the last time I've been, I think, when I was at Florida State. I went down there. I had a friend with a dad who had a spot down there. So we would go down there and hang out, go on the boat, and that. It's a great place. Kind of reminds me like a little bit of Treasure Island.
Yeah, I'll take that.
But
I'll take that. Madeira Beach type vibes. A little bit cleaner water. You're on the ocean. Everything's a lot more expensive. They actually just put a new Publix in Islamorada, which is super nice because you used to have to drive all the way down to Duck Key to get Publix or basically anything that was remotely close to Publix.
That's awesome.
As a Floridian, you can't accept anything but Publix, of course.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. I'm going camping next weekend. And I have not been camping. We had a discussion. How long has it been since I've been camping? Like, it's been a long time. Can I get a tent from Camping World? Like, can they?
Where are you guys going camping? Where are you guys going camping?
Well, this is camping for me. So I was invited to a ranch next Saturday. One of my buddies, he's like my age, is in a band, and they're going out to some ranch in Ruskin, Waimama area. And basically just like playing music, cooking food, drinking beer, but everybody's staying on the property in a tent, in tents. Like there's no,
Okay.
I was told that there's a bathroom, like a working bathroom there. And there's going to be like 50, 60 of us or something. I don't know all the details, but my buddy's band's playing and I said I would go. So I committed.
More than one working bathroom there.
I committed to sleeping in a tent. That's all I know. That's camping to me.
Yeah. Yeah, we stayed in a tent a few times. Like we went camping probably like 5 or 6, maybe even 10 times when I was a little kid. I was too young to remember sometimes. But we did most of it like down in St. Pete, like honestly.
Oh, I've been like we went to as a kid for a couple of Thanksgivings. We went camping, but we did it in like a pop-up, and we went to like Ginny Springs for a couple nights. We would go to some like state parkish type places to go camping.
Yeah.
And then one time,
that's always good fun.
The last time I think I slept in a tent, I think I was like 13 years old, and me and my buddy Jimmy launched a boat out of Jungle Prada. You know where Jungle Prada is?
Yeah.
And there's like a little island about literally like 500 yards off the dock there. And our parents at like 13 years old let us take a boat over there and spend the night on the island. I think that's the last time I slept in a tent.
That's pretty bad. I feel like I've seen that down in a movie before. But that's concerning.
Yeah. So that's the last time I've been camping, I think.
That's pretty fun, though. I don't know. I'd like to go camping at some point, but I do need nice back support, and
right.
I'm too used to my amenities at this point. I'd have to wait till like a nice, cool winter month.
Yeah.
But yeah, camping would definitely be fun, though. I know I'll be able to plan a few cool things with Camping World Good Sam to support other individuals in the Tallahassee community and be able to give them a little vacation in a pop-up, or they can actually rent an RV. So it will be pretty cool.
Oh, maybe they'll give me an RV to take, and everybody's going to be pitching their tent, and I'm going to pull up in this.
I'm talking to them tomorrow, Camping World and Good Sam. I'm actually having a quick call with them around like 2:00.
All right.
So I'll definitely see what they have available.
Yeah, whatever's available.
Yeah, what's interesting about at least Camping World and Good Sam is a lot of their rentals are done by private individuals, right? So if you go out there and you spend your hard-earned money on an RV or on some type of recreational vehicle, pop-up, trailer, even a tow behind or a fifth wheel, you can put that on their marketplace to rent it year-round if you wanted to. So you and your loved one could easily go buy one and put it on that market and make some passive income.
Yeah,
it's a cool opportunity, especially if you live in a good destination for RVs. I don't know if Florida's the best one in the world, but other parts of the United States, you'd be able to make some profit.
Yeah, I've heard that. That's pretty cool. All right, let's get going. We've been on here a couple minutes. All right, so for those watching, hanging out with us, we appreciate it. That's awesome. If you guys want to drop comments in here, we'll answer them towards the end of the show. This is not the show goes on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. So go subscribe. This part will be edited out. It's just the intro. So all that being said, I think we're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. As the rain comes trickling down.
Mm-hmm.
That is a great sound. All right, here we go.
I love rain.
Yeah, so do I. I do too. Don't get me started.
I'd love just to stay here all week in the rain and not leave my town home and just chill,
And somebody who has anxiety like me, like I love the rain because then I feel like when I'm at home, I'm where I need to be. Hey, it's raining out. I'm not missing anything.
I'm in shelter. I'm warm. I am dry. Yeah. Yeah. Even the house would mean I get wet in some capacity. So yeah.
Right. All right. Here we go. Episode 17. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Big Man, Big Heart with Dillan Gibbons. I am your host, Josh Newberg. This is episode 17. We are coming to you on a Thursday evening. We are also live on YouTube right now. Dillan, good to see you, man. How you doing?
It's great to see you too, Josh. I had a great week, and it's been a very eventful past couple days. But it's great to be here on another podcast, another week in the books. A lot of hard work on the football field and getting ready for this spring. A lot of camaraderie building in the team, and a lot of work with Big Man, Big Heart.
Yeah. So let's just get right into it. The last time you updated us on Big Man, Big Heart, you had a couple big events planned.
Yeah. So we're planning our second main event for here in Tallahassee, right? The state of Florida is kind of my testing ground, right? Specifically here in the Tallahassee community. Now, I'm from St. Pete, but being ingrained in the culture here at Florida State has allowed me a lot of great opportunities. And right now we have an opportunity to put together an event around fishing for the Boys and Girls Club. And we're actually going to do the event, and the tentative date is actually the Saturday after our spring game. So that's April 16th, I believe. But at the end of the day, a lot of work and a lot of hours have been spent in trying to start the schedule for this event. It's, of course, with trying to work with the different companies and the different individuals and even the schedule of the Boys and Girls Club themselves. It really is a lengthy process. But trust me, I have a great team behind me. I have a few interns here in Tallahassee. I have a team at GoFundMe, and my family. They do a great job in supporting my efforts.
So I got to know, did you guys pick a lake yet? Have we settled on a lake?
The lake is still up in the air, and I'll tell you why, because it's very interesting. So the bottom line, the event, right? For me, my core values, right? They revolve around my faith, my family, football, and of course, fishing. More specifically, saltwater fishing. Again, I was born and raised in St. Pete, so I was always out there trying to catch snook, trout, flounder, redfish, tarpon off the dock.
All the good stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's what I spent all my time doing. All right, and that's something that distracted me from all the other distractions that one could have, positive or negative. So I spent that time either hanging out with my family, fishing, or playing some type of sport, whether it's basketball, baseball, and more importantly, football. Right. But so this event is going to be centered around those core values, right? So trying to ingrain that faith, the family aspect, the football, and the fishing. That's a lot to accomplish in a small event. But when you're talking about the lives of 50 to 80 kids from the Boys and Girls Club, you got to make it happen. You got to try to bring it all together. You got to try to get as much support as you can.
I know you will.
And you really got to rally everyone around you. And that's what I've been trying to accomplish here in Tallahassee. So first, I'll give a little explanation of who all stepped in so far. So first, we have the FWC, which is absolutely amazing to get their participation. Growing up as a kid, like I always envied them. I watched the FWC shows that they're always airing on TV. I watched these guys that put their lives on the line to protect our very plentiful, but also scarce at times resources here in the state of Florida. These are individuals that take that duty and wear it on their sleeve, and they work very hard in protecting you and me and all the things that we like to do here in the state of Florida. So I actually communicate with them, and right now we're in the process of planning out how many officers will be there. It should be about 15 to 20 FWC officers. Cool. They've agreed to bring an airboat, a center console, a few other different vessels and vehicles for the kids to look at and interact with. Along with that, they have a trailer that they use for community outreach events. That explains a little about the FWC and Florida's wildlife and gives some kids some fun facts. And there's different individuals that'll run that kind of station. And then they actually offered something that was a little bit odd, right? Something I wasn't anticipating, especially coming from the FWC. They're going to bring a live alligator out there to show these kids, right?
That's
absolutely crazy. If I was a kid and I was at a fishing event and I got to hang around or see or at least learn a little bit about the alligators we have in the state of Florida, that'd be awesome. So I immediately said yes. So right now, again, we're in the beginning stages of planning this event. But those are all wonderful things that the FWC has already offered me, right? All their assistance. And I can't thank them enough for that. So to have their participation, to have them there as part of the event is going to be absolutely awesome. Additionally, I've had conversations with Bass Pro Shops here in Tallahassee, talked to a few different GMs over there, and they're going to support us with some of the things we're going to give the kids, right? Not only the items, so the fishing rods, the tackle, things like that, the grab bags that have all the swag and things of that nature in them, but they're actually going to volunteer their time. Different individuals are stepping up from the marketing agency, from the FWC, and from Bass Pro Shops. So again, these people have an interest in fishing and an interest in making Tallahassee a better place. And they've stepped up and they've already volunteered their time. The one last thing I'll say about this event.
Oh, you cut out. One last thing you want to say about the event. Let me text Dylan. Dylan looks like he's listening very intently. He'll be back here in a second.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're a little choppy. There you go.
I apologize. It's storming pretty bad here in Tallahassee.
I know.
But as I was saying, it's going to be an awesome opportunity.
Hold on, just count it down because I'm going to edit it where you said, because you said, and then one last thing.
3, 2, 1. Wait, Josh, it's pretty choppy on my end. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think you're okay.
Okay, let me try to connect to a different Wi-Fi real quick. I apologize.
All right.
I'm going to turn on my personal hotspot. I know that's probably going to be
I mean, you're doing all
bad,
right.
but it's probably better than what I have going on here.
I think you're doing okay as you are now.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I'll give you a 3, 2, 1. You ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. And the last part about this is that the FWC is actually going to step up and I'm just going to, because this is odd because it keeps cutting out. The last part is
you're
that
not
the FWC is
going
going to be able to. It's so weird because your screen just keeps going black.
Yeah, no, you're good. I'll let you know if you cut out.
Let me try it one more time then, if you can hear me.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. And the last part is that this is going to be these kids, probably their first interaction with an FWC officer. So the first time they've ever seen or heard of this agency. Again, just being able to give these kids another resource, teaching them man to fish, but also getting them around a guy in a uniform that carries a gun, getting them comfortable in that type of environment. So it's going to be awesome to have their active participation in that event.
Very good. That's exciting, and just keep us updated. I'm genuinely excited about this one. This sounds really cool, and I think it's something that fits your personality. Of all the things that you've done, this is definitely something that's right up your alley. So that's really cool.
Yeah, and having the support of the government agency, of course, the FWC and Bass Pro Shops, I'm going to be able to replicate this all around the state of Florida. So for each of my collegiate ambassadors at the major Division I programs that they're at. To be able to bring different kids from the Boys and Girls Club and give them this kind of impact, give them this kind of experience. And it's of great magnitude, too, of having the support from not only those two companies, but also Good Sam Camping World. They're going to help me with all the logistics and the planning and the food and things of that nature. So it's going to be an awesome event. And I really would appreciate the active support of the Tallahassee community in my fundraising efforts for this event. Because, again, we're trying to give them the greatest experience they've ever had around fishing, right? To get it to stick. So that's going to take some money, of course, for the purchasing of the rods and reels, the little bags we're going to give them, and of course, just trying to protect them. So having all these different people around and volunteers. So if anyone wants to contribute, wants to be a part of it, please just shoot me a DM and definitely look for the GoFundMe I'm going to post pretty soon revolving around this event.
Yeah, we'll tweet that out and make sure everybody knows. Speaking of cool experiences, today was a special day for you. You made a trip to the Florida Capitol. Do I have that correct?
Yes, sir.
Tell the people about what you're doing.
Kind of a wild day. Of course, just I never really thought that I would ever be in the Florida Capitol, right? It was one of those dreams. I always pass by it on my way back up from St. Pete, coming up US 19. I'm like, that's a cool building. I wonder what it's like inside. Well, now I know. So I ended up going there today to meet Representative Chip Lamarca. He's a representative from Broward County, the coastal district. Really, really awesome individual. He is the guy for name, image, and likeness here in the state of Florida. He's the one, the biggest proponent to pass the bill that's given us all the rights that we have now, right? So without this individual, Big Man, Big Heart wouldn't exist, right? I wouldn't have been able to raise over $190,000 for people in need. I wouldn't be able to make such an impact on Timothy Donovan and all these other individuals Leona Joy, everyone, all these different people from all different walks of life, they would have never had interaction with me. And of course, I would have done some things in the community, but it wouldn't have been at this kind of scale or this kind of magnitude or this much support.
And it might have gotten you in trouble.
Yeah, it might have. I know people have gotten in trouble in the past, and absolute blessing to meet this individual. And again, Chip LaMarca, I can't thank him enough for having me there today. We actually, it was, I'll get into the experience a little bit. So bottom line, I set up a meeting with Chip LaMarca and Representative Chip LaMarca. It was a kind of a lengthy process, of course, to get in front of him. I basically just shot him a text and ended up meeting him, like shot him a text last night and met him today. So it was absolutely awesome to have that kind of access to a representative of that kind of caliber, which I never thought I'd be able to. But just the whole process of getting there, right? And I wanted to bring him a spear, right? One of those replica Florida State spears. And you can see it in the photos on Twitter. It's something I wanted to do because, again, like I said, I owe this guy a lot. I owe him a lot for his efforts and how committed he is to serving the athletes here in our wonderful state and allowing us to do all these wonderful things. But you got to think about trying to bring a spear into the Capitol. The logistics around bringing basically a semi-functional replica spear into the Florida Capitol. So I'm glad I have some friends. I have a family friend. His name is Mark Glass. He's actually the director of the Capitol Police. So he's actually one of my family friends from back in St. Pete. My dad grew up with the family. He married into the family, and it's absolutely awesome to have friends all over the place. And you never know when you'll need a friend. And in that instance, I called up Mark Glass and my dad and me and my brother, and we told him what our plan was. So we showed up there, pulled up to the guard shack over towards the house, and pulled directly up to the Capitol, brought 2 spears into the Capitol, and ended up having a wonderful interaction with Representative Chip LaMarca.
Now, so did you carry them in like this? Like, were you
I carry one in my hand. If anyone was at the Capitol today, they're going to remember me. They're going to remember my face. They're going to see a big old dude wearing a red suit, carrying a spear. That is part of the point too, right? And to be able to meet all these wonderful people. I had interactions with people from every walk of life in the Capitol, right? Just absolutely crazy the kind of people you meet in there. But that's not the point of this conversation, right? The point is to talk about the House Bill 939, right? And the amendments that Chip LaMarca is making currently.
So what are we trying to accomplish here?
So that's a difficult question, right? Because name, image, likeness, again, is the Wild West. And a lot of different people are doing things to control name, image, likeness, right? And putting all different types of statutes in place. And some states aren't doing anything. So the right answer for the state of Florida right now is to make these amendments, right? To further protect student athletes from themselves and from the university's perspective and compliance issues, but mainly to support the student athlete, right? To be able to give the universities some type of interaction with the player with name, image, likeness, to be able to have the university support that player, to be able to have open conversations about it. Right now, it's treated like voodoo, right? It's not, you're not allowed to do it in the facilities. You can't wear a Florida State polo while doing it. You can't use the name, the actual markings of the college you're at, and the coaches can't even say a word about it, right? They can't help you out.
So it's like legal, but it still feels very illegal, at least in the state of Florida.
Yeah. And if you think about giving the rights, at least that what we have with name, image, and likeness, without the proper financial literacy to go along with it, right? And without the proper attorneys in place that understand what's happening, you can imagine how some kids would be in compromising positions right now. Furthermore, it limits them on a number of fields. I know in the press right now, and what's happened with Deion Sanders and Jackson State is really a hot topic, right, on the recruiting side of things. But it does open the doors. It's unfair that some states don't have any legislation to this manner. They don't even talk about name, image, likeness. They pretend like it's not there and they don't regulate it. But I believe that the state of Florida needs to do a good job, a thorough job, and a continued job in actually wrapping their arms around the student athletes, protecting their best interest, but opening the doors for more opportunities, right? Because not everyone is like me. Not everyone is like Jordan Travis. Athletes are all different. But again, just continue the educational aspect, wrapping their arms around the athletes, not letting them sign anything they can't perform on. And just trying to turn this into a more strategic tool here in the state of Florida.
That's pretty awesome. So when does this thing go up for vote?
So it's coming up for vote in a few weeks. I was actually part of this conversation, right, and talking about Big Man, Big Heart, and trying to convince Chip LaMarca and Representative LaMarca about the power of doing good, right, and how the state of Florida can be different in that aspect. The focus right now is all on recruiting tools. It's using name, image, and likeness to bring in those 5-star players, to go out there and give them $1 million deal. But imagine if we lived in a world where the state of Florida, you know how unique we are as a state. Everyone's always talking about it. The state of Florida doesn't always do things the normal way, right? The way that everyone else perceives it. And I believe that we can be different in the fact that we do support the student athletes, but more importantly, we do support and thoroughly support their charitable initiatives. Personally, I've come across a few different instances, whether it was with my campaign with Timothy, taking Timothy to Tally, or even the last event I did with the Boys and Girls Club around Christmas time with shopping with the player. I've felt a lot of hesitation from Florida State football compliance. And it's not because they don't want to support me. It's not because they don't want to offer me all the tools in their toolbox.
They just think
they're extremely limited, and they can't even touch it. They can't know it's happening. They can't look at it. And to be able to have their full capabilities, right? To be able to interact with people.
Yeah, that doesn't feel like the intent of the NIL. It wasn't meant to be like that. So yes,
it wasn't.
And this is early. It's early. Nothing's gonna be perfect at the start, but it sounds like this is gonna get changed, right? Like, are they confident that this is?
They're pretty confident. At the end of the day, there's not a lot of opposition, at least in that field. Just giving more and more opportunity to athletes. Of course, it helps everybody in a way. But with the NCAA taking a step back from what was originally put out there when the name was like we saw first announced, it really does open the floodgates, and it opens the floodgates in extremely positive ways, and it could be extremely negative. So to actually have something in writing out there within the state of Florida that protects student athletes and gives us all the necessary resources within our university to do the most we possibly can with our name, image, likeness, to make the most money, to do the most good, to help out as many people as we possibly can. I just think it's an incredibly positive thing. I'm very excited to be a part of it. One of the biggest things about this conversation, and one of the main reasons I had the conversation with Representative LaMarca is because I'm going to be testifying in front of the actual Florida House of Representatives to support this bill. And for me, again,
that's going to be super cool. By the way.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy experience. I didn't want to get into it. I'm so nervous, but for me, it opens up so many doors for Big Man, Big Heart. It allows me to utilize Florida State in a way I haven't been able to. It allows me to talk to my coaches. It allows my coaches to wrap their arms around me and what I've been doing and the positivity I've been bringing to Tallahassee. It allows Florida State as a university to support
on board.
Yeah. In past and right now, and our present right now, they can't even talk to me. They can't even say like, "Hey, this student athlete's doing this great thing," right? They can't even retweet things on Twitter about articles or things being put out about me or about the campaigns I'm running. Bottom line, I'm just so excited. It's a great opportunity, and I can't thank Representative LaMarca enough. Again, like I said, this wouldn't have been made possible, at least with bringing a spear to Mr. LaMarca, without Mark Glass.
And those photos are on Twitter now for those that want to check that out. You can go to my Twitter, Dylan's Twitter. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and to take that a step further, the security side and getting a spear into the Capitol, actually got two in there, one for Mark Glass and one for Representative LaMarca. Became even more complicated because, of course, there's the Capitol Police, right? And then there's the Sergeant of Arms, which controls everything inside the house. Right. So I had to basically be transferred from the Capitol Police into the Sergeant of Arms, right? Into his, basically, he was walking me around the whole time, him and another individual. So Russell Hosford took care of me, and he's actually the Sergeant of Arms for the House. And Jeremy Vaughn was with him as well. He's one of the deputies inside the Sergeant of Arms. But I got to meet some other cool individuals. I got to meet the bomb squad commander. He's a bomb squad commander of basically this whole area, right? A lot bigger than just the Capitol, right? And his name is Scotty Winfrey. So I got a big shout out to him. Awesome work. And I look forward to working with him. He's actually the director of community outreach for the program as well. So they host a number of events throughout the year that I'm definitely going to be a part of. Some really cool individuals that are working extremely hard. Individuals I never would have seen or would have met without this experience. So again, it was incredibly positive in all aspects. But I can't thank them enough for having me there and for Mr. Glass to take me around and have a conversation.
What a memorable day that'll be for you, and really just the beginning of what you're going to do to change some of this legislation.
And I think great job with the information at time, right, of the state of Florida trying to come out first and be a part of name, image, likeness, and put things in place to protect us. But of course, with everything else that happens in legislation and everything else that happens in this world, they need amendments, right? Yeah. Without them, we can't continue to live and continue to capitalize on as much as we can. So I can't thank him for supporting us and putting so much time and effort. And his whole, you wouldn't imagine what he goes through on a daily basis. But I can't thank him for his time, for meeting me today, and for supporting Big Man, Big Heart, and helping me spread the message.
Awesome. We're going to talk about that in the coming weeks. So really cool to hear about everything that's going on in the state capitol. Congrats on your first trip there. It sounds like first of many, like I said.
Yeah, if anyone's listening today that has any sort of association with the state capitol, I'd love to go back. I love to hang out there around people and take care of us behind the scenes. People don't really necessarily think about, but it's absolutely awesome to have those experiences. Representative LaMarca, I can't thank you enough for including me and letting me be part of this legislation and these amendments that are taking place on bill, or it's called House Bill 939.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Hey, do you think we could get him in the spaces to come talk? Would he be?
We'll have to see. He's a very busy man, as you can imagine. Like I'm surprised I got a few minutes with him.
Well, if they need any help, if they need any signatures, if they need the people, you just let me know.
We'll be getting back on the phone with him in the next couple of days, and I will let you know how that conversation goes.
If we need to mobilize the people, get some signatures or whatever, you just let me know. We can get that done.
I know you can rally the troops, Josh.
Yeah,
exactly. The power of spaces.
I have the cavalry just waiting for the word, and we're coming. We're rushing. So you just let me know. All right. Before we get out of here, tour duty. You guys are in like week 2, week 3, completing it. How you feeling? How you doing? What's an update from tour duty?
I'm feeling pretty good. The guys are sharp. We had another team run tonight. The whole team run. This is the second week in a row. The second week of tour duty. The second team run. Of course, we worked out this morning and had this team run in the afternoon. Was another perfect team run. Of course, this is more of a distance run, right? Running 110s, things of that nature. I'm not going to get into specifics, but the whole thing's about repetition with cadence and trying to break players down so they get to a point where they forget the little things, right? Like getting set, like putting the right hand down on
touching the line, right?
Not jumping the whistle. But all the guys did great. We had no one jump off sides, no one make a mental error. And I'm so proud of our team for where we come from. I was here during the summer. I saw some of those dark days and some of the hope like going away a little bit as I was moving into camp last year. But for me, this is absolutely awesome. It's a good indication that we're starting off the game right. The first couple plays are in the books, but we have a lot of football to play, right? And it doesn't really matter how you start the game; it matters how you finish. So I look forward to moving forward with this team, to getting bigger and stronger in the weight room, getting more agile, and getting my cardio up on the field, and definitely getting after it tomorrow evening as we do tour duty.
You guys do not go in the morning tomorrow?
It's actually in the afternoon.
Okay.
Yep. We'll have morning workouts. So I'll have a 6 o'clock workout in the morning. I'm not sure what all we'll have in store, but definitely a hard workout. It lasts about an hour, maybe an hour and a half sometimes. And then in the evening, around 4 o'clock again, we'll have a tour duty. Just because scheduling purposes, trying to fit a lift and a run, it makes the most sense to have it in the evening.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear you guys are working hard. Everything's going well. Any shout outs, anything you want to get off your chest before we move on, before we get out of here today?
Yeah, I have a few shout outs. So first of all, Representative LaMarca, I can't thank you enough. Absolutely incredible experience. One of the greatest experiences I've had here at Florida State, and that's saying something. just for meeting an individual. Awesome venue, walking through the house and definitely the Capitol. I hope to be in there again someday. For my sponsors, I got to give a big shout out to Good Sam, Super Coffee, again, GoFundMe. And the last person I'll give a shout out to is one of the people that are sponsoring this podcast, and that's National Truck Protection. So if you have a light duty truck, even heavy duty trucks, and you need some type of insurance, if you're a corporation, if you're a small business, please consider using National Truck Protection. They sponsored this podcast, and there's some good people. I ended up meeting their CEO, Wade Bontrager, an internship that I did in New York City. So again, awesome people, family friends. They're going to be at every game this year. So you definitely give them your trust. Trust me, and definitely give them a call. National Truck Protection. So thank you guys so much for listening for this week. I hope to have some good news, at least following the legislature we've been talking about and some of the amendments being made. And a great experience. And I look forward to contributing as much as I possibly can to that process.
Absolutely. And we will see you guys next week. Go Noles.
Go Noles.